Welcome to my pivot table example. So hopefully you have already downloaded the Super Scooters data file. If not, pause the video and go ahead and go grab that so you can follow along. So I'm going to start by inserting a pivot table. So to do that, we just click anywhere within the cell, hit Insert, Insert Pivot Table. We've selected the data range. We're going to put it into a new worksheet. We click OK, and now we have this new worksheet that brings up our table fields, and then we can build our pivot table over here. So we notice all of those various columns that we had in our data file are now included over here, and we can drag them into one of four areas: filters, columns, rows, and values. So before we jump into that, let's take a look at the questions we're going to try and answer. So we want to know, what are the total gross sales for each location? What is the average gross sale amount for each model? Total revenue per year? And then we want to break it down using slicers into some pretty detailed information. So if we wanted to start off by what are the gross sales for each location, if we look at our data file, we notice that we have a number of locations. So we know that that's what we're going to start with. So we will put the locations into our rows, and now we have identified each of those various locations. And then we want our gross sales. So let's look for gross sales. Here's that. So we'll put that into our values, and we have now the sum of those gross sales. And I'm a stickler for formatting. So I'm going to put a comma here, $sign. All right. So next, we might want to filter this because we want to know by year. So we can put the years into our filters, and we only care about 2025. So I can choose what year I'm interested in. So now I can identify the dollar amount at each of their location in 2025. So that's the first one. The second one, what is the average gross sales amount for each model in 2025? So here we're no longer interested in location, but we're interested in model. So we have 4 different models. We're still on 2025. The only thing that's changed is the model. So this is the sum. We don't really care about the sum, we care about the average. So we can go into the values and click on the down button and click on the value field setting, and we can change that amount. So we can switch this to average, and now we know the average gross sales amount for each of those models. Now the next one, what is total revenue per year? So now we don't want to use year as a filter. We want to use year as our row. So we want to know the amount each year, but we don't want gross sales. What we want is our total revenue. So let's go and find that one. So as you see, you just kind of drag and drop things in as you are going. So here we have our various sum of revenue for each year when we drag and drop. And then the last piece is asking us to use slicers. So I'm going to make this big so we can go through the slicer example. So a slicer is just another way to filter our data. So we're going to start by going over to our pivot table analysis, and we're going to want to insert slicer. So I'm just going to hit this, and then it has all of our various column headings again that we saw over here that lets us know where we can choose what we want to slice or filter by. So in this case, we want 3 different slicers. We're going to want one for model, we're going to want one for color, and we're going to want one for location. So I click OK, and now I have 3 different slicers or ways that I can divide up the data. So in our particular question, we were asked, let me see, where is that? Green, Captain, Dallas. So we were asked about Green, Captain, and Dallas. And now we've identified the sum of those revenues from each of those three areas. So that is Slicers for you. I hope you found this informative.